Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lala. If you're not familiar with me, I am pioneering my way through Africa and I'm documenting my experience just to help those who come after me and just help you guys navigate the process through repatriation. So today I'm going to be discussing my ratings based on my personal experience. This is not to be divisive. This is not to, start any issues. This is not to be hateful towards any countries. This is just based on my personal experience and my opinions. So let's start with the rating. We're gonna go one by one on each category, and I'm gonna do my rating for each category. For each city, I'm gonna do a rating for every category, and that's just based on my personal experiences. So I'm just here to help you guys, assist you guys on what's best for you as well. So number one, leisure. Okay, everyone knows Ghana is an adult playground. There's always something to do. When I went there, I partied till 6 in the morning, but I did party with Tanzanians. So regardless, Ghana was a pretty good time. Only con with Ghana is party life is they seem to play the same type of music at every place, which is like Afro beats, and now it's Amapiano. Every African country overplays Amapiano because it's like trending right now. But when I was there, Amapiano I wasn't familiar with, but they did play Afro beats quite a lot at every party. So it was like we were hearing the same song at every party. But if you guys are, I don't know if I can say that on here, but if you guys are 420 friendly, Ghana is very cheap. Drinks are very cheap. All around, it's an adult playground. So leisure for Ghana for me got a 10 out of 10. I could say a 9 out of 10, but everybody knows Ghana is lit and it's the place to be, especially during December. Now throughout the years when I went, I didn't go in December, but it was pretty good at a random time of the year as well. So 10 out of 10 for Ghana. For Kigali, I didn't go out in Kigali, and I'm gonna get into why. But from what I've seen online, I haven't seen much of a party life and much of a variety when it comes to different types of music that I like. So, but they are 420 friendly. That's what I figured. And yeah, I mean, they're cool, chill people, but I just didn't see much of a party life. So I'm gonna rate them a 6 out of 10 for the party life. I didn't even get to go out. Me personally, I'm sure other people can go out based on their rules now, but I wasn't able to go out. And from what I've seen and researched, I just didn't see much. So it's a 6 out of 10 for that. Tanzania. Now I told you guys I went out with Tanzanians in Ghana and they showed me a lit time. Lit. We stayed out till 6 a.m. and I didn't even know the time passed by. And I don't know why I didn't think that their party life was much of anything coming here. So maybe I might be wrong about Kigali's party life because I didn't see much about Tanzania. I did see a few videos online. It was pretty dope, but you have to see it to believe it. And when I got here, we went to Element and we partied till 4 in the morning. I had to get back to my baby, so I would have done 6 in the morning like they were asking me to, but 4 in the morning, if you could get me to stay out till 4 in the morning, because I'm the type, I'll go to a party and I'll leave in an hour, especially if it's not really all that. So for Tanzania, leisure, now they are 420 friendly. The drinks are cheap, pretty affordable. So they also get a 10 out of 10. I think people sleep on Tanzania's party life. They have a lit party life. They're modest throughout the day, but the party life is lit. So don't sleep on them when it comes to partying. That's a 10 out of 10. Infrastructure. Now this comes to the roads, the government, all that type of stuff. And Accra, 6 out of 10. The infrastructure we all know needs work in Ghana. But regardless, it's a beautiful country, beautiful people. But the infrastructure needs a little work in Accra. But every country is developing. That's just my personal opinion, because it's similar here. It's like no real sidewalks, no there's not a lot of organization on the streets. It's a lot going on, so I'm used to it though. But it's a 6 out of 10 for me. Kigali infrastructure, they have a pretty nice infrastructure. From what I've seen, seem like they do have sidewalks, and their system just runs a little smoother. So the infrastructure for them is a 9 out of 10. Dar es Salaam, I'm rating the cities, you guys, not the country, because I haven't been throughout all the country, just the city. The infrastructure in Dar es Salaam is like a 6, 7. I'm gonna go with 6. It's the same as Ghana. It's not, really organized, no real sidewalks, but they all developing countries. So in time, I'm hoping that will change for the better. Yeah, but 6 out of 10 for me. So friendliness, Ghana, y'all are on top as far as the friendliness. I don't know if it has anything to do with friendliness. I should say hospitality. Hospitality in Ghana is really good, and so is in Kigali. But I feel like in Kigali, I got more stares than I got conversation, and I don't take that as not being friendly. It's just indifferent. I don't know. Like I don't know how to feel about it. Like, all the people I encountered were nice. I can't say anyone was mean to me, but in Ghana, they very warm and welcoming. So I didn't get that same warmness, but they are kind people. Everyone I met in Kigali was really kind. So, but in Ghana, I'm sorry, it's a 10 out of 10. Like, everybody knows their hospitality is just amazing. My father was the first one to tell me, like, Ghanaian people are just so nice, and they are. You guys, keep up the hospitality, because that kind of puts you on top as far as that goes. In Kigali, the friendliness, I rated an 8 out of 10, because like I said, I got a lot of stares more than smiles, and the rest was smiles and waves and happiness. So I didn't really, people weren't mean to me. So 8 out of 10. Dar es Salaam friendliness is the same as Tanzania. It seems to be the same. I think what it is just they're not as warm. They're really chill, cool, And once you get to know them, you realize, like, they're just really cool, really chill, really humble, and they're curious, because they don't see as much as us as Ghanaians do. Because Ghana is more westernized, so they see more Westerners. So when they see us, they get a little curious. And for some people, it might come off as mean, but to me, it's just curiosity. And yeah, it's just not as warm though. So I rated them both 8 out of 10. Affordability. When I first got to Ghana, I figured it was really affordable, but now as time's going on and it's getting more popular, prices seem to be going up. So it's not expensive, but it's not super cheap either. So by that I mean, like, they for like rent, they're supposed to take 6 months. They most of the time take a year. That's a lot to put up front, even though the rent prices are decent, usually like $300-400 for something decent. That's still a lot to put up front. And there are just certain things that's just going to be more expensive, especially for people who are repatriating and getting the Mzungu prices. But they consider us tourists, so they're going to give you the tourist price. So that being said, Ghana, as far as affordability, is definitely like a 7 out of 10. It's still pretty high on the scale, but like I said, it's cheap, but it's affordable, but it's not super affordable, especially if you're looking to live like you do in the West. Kigali, I love y'all. I really do love the homes. The homes, how they design it is so nice. And that being said, you know, they have to pay what it's worth. You gotta pay what's worth for the quality you're getting. And out of the three, the way they design their houses, I love it more than the three choices. But it's a pretty penny to pay in Kigali. It's not cheap. You're looking at paying between $500 to $700 for a 1 to 2 bedroom, you know. So they do take 3 months rent though, but you know, things start to add up after a while. So for my budget, those expenses right now, and being a single mother, pretty expensive for me. But for someone else with a little bit more room, financial room, like Kigali will be perfect for you. So for me, the affordability, I was going to say a 6, but it's one of the most expensive African countries in the East. So it's a 5 out of 10 for me for the affordability. Those prices a little bit high compared to Ghana and Tanzania, but it's worth it. What you're getting, what you're paying for, it's worth it. The houses are really nicely built there, really beautiful. Immigration process. The immigration process was a major thing that I had to consider when picking a country. The immigration process in Ghana has seemed to have gotten better over the last few years, but at first I heard it was kind of messy. It may still be, you know, hard to get your papers and get your residency and things like that, but I've seen it improving a little. So the immigration process in Ghana, I rated 8 out of 10. Might be a 7, I don't know, but I'm gonna rate it an 8 out of 10 based on the research I've done. Kigali immigration process seems to be the smoother amongst the three, because they have an option that you, once living there, you can start a business and get a 12-year visa, which is really smooth to be able to get a 12-year visa. I don't see any of the other countries offering such a long visa period. So Kigali was one of the reasons I had traveled to Kigali to check it out, is because the immigration process seems to be so smooth. And traveling with a toddler, you know, I just want to go ahead and get settled. So yeah. Got kids behind me. But for some, the immigration process may be the deciding factor, but that was definitely at the top of my list. That's where I went to Rwanda, was because just seems quicker and faster. It just seems like a way easier process than the other two. Tanzania, as far as immigration, I'm gonna rate it a 7 out of 10. Now, there is a way you can get your residency here. You want to walk by? You can walk by if you want. I'm gonna rate it a 7 out of 10 for the immigration process here, because it's not hard to get it, but it's pretty difficult to have to leave the country every 3 months just to have to come back and get another visa until you acquire residency. That's pretty tough. So it's something I have to consider, because once my daughter turns 2, then I have to now get plane tickets for her as well to travel in and out, and that will get kind of costly. Okay, I had to move a little bit to catch the little bit of the light I have left. But last things last for me is freedom. It's very important for me to trust God in all my decisions, and to trust that whatever issue that is formed in this world, I can solve with what he's given me. It's nature. So, and my intuition. So, that being said, we all know what's going on right now and in the world, and anything that's coerced and forced on me, I'm not comfortable with that, and I'm not comfortable being in that environment. So, that being said, Ghana turned me off as far as that goes. But it's not the people, it's the politicians. It represents the leaders. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because honestly, Ghana and Tanzania were like a direct match, but because I was more familiar with Ghana, Ghana was gonna be my first choice. But regardless, I was moving to Africa. So literally, I had gotten my visa I had applied for a visa for my daughter and I for $400. $400. 200 for me, 200 for her. On the 9th or the 8th of December. Literally a day or two later, the president says, if you are not, we all know what I'm saying. If you are not, you can't go, whether that's a local or a visitor. And this is when I've already planned my whole trip. I was planning for a whole year. Not even a whole year, but I was planning for a while. There's a lot of money that goes into repatriation. It's not an easy process. I'm actually going to do a video on how much it costs for me to repatriate. And for him to have made this announcement, you could do whatever you want with your country. But for you to make that announcement days before you plan to cut off the connection to your country is just a little insensitive. You know, to people who are planning years, a year ahead of time, months ahead of time. So to me, it turned me off to where, you know, I completely said, okay, well, if I'm not welcome there because I don't decide to do something with my body, then I'm gonna go to check out another country. Then I started to look up Rwanda. And I asked a few people about Rwanda. I think I asked, who was it? It's a family that had repatriated to Rwanda. They're on YouTube too. And I asked them, you know, how was the process out there? And they were like, you literally can't do anything without, I don't want to say the word. You literally can't do anything without the. So once they said that, I was like, okay, if it's like that, then the first country I was ever even interested in was Tanzania. But I was trying to decide if it was too modest for me here. Once I got there, I really underestimated how strict it would be, because in New York it's pretty strict, but it's not as strict as what I ran into. Like in New York, you could still go to like fast food restaurants and order inside. You could still go to, you know, certain places and still be free. I don't really care too much about clubbing, and I don't really care too much about certain things. So for me, like, the restrictions they had in New York didn't really faze me. Only thing that fazed me was a gym, but it's ways around that. Okay. Every time I try to do a video, something like this happens. I mean, for Kigali, once I got there, great first impression, chill people, beautiful place, beautiful weather. But because freedom is like at the top of my list, especially during these times or any time, yeah, Kigali wasn't doing it for me, because you know, as a new resident or a visitor, you have to get a SIM card to get things done, and you have to be able to go get things to eat. And I went into KFC to get some chicken nuggets for my daughter, and they were asking me for my card, and I don't even experience this in New York, so this was like new for me. And I was like, what, you want my card? So I had to walk to the drive-thru to get my food. I feel like this is just so discriminative. Like, it's just so, listen, for me it doesn't work. For me it does not work, you know. And then I tried to go and get my SIM card, and I couldn't, and they let me in for that one time, but then I had to consider, like, how many times is this going to happen before you guys kind of force me to get it? Because I have to get it to get my personal things, to get my SIM card, to get food. Like, that's forcing it. And no, I think it's the Nuremberg code. You're not supposed to, it's not supposed to be forced or coerced upon you. And this is breaking all the anyways, it doesn't work for me. So if this resonates with you, it's not going to work for you either. So that's the main reason why I left for Kigali. A lot of people were asking me. That's literally the only thing. So I couldn't make a whole video on it. I just had to kind of place it in one of these videos so you guys know that is why I left. There was no freedom whatsoever for me, and I also feel bad for the locals because I formed a bond with some of those people, and they're forced to do this thing to be able to have a job and a livelihood, and it's not right. That is not right. But from my personal opinion, I wouldn't go there if freedom is important for you. Now, in Tanzania, the freedom is 10 out of 10. I get to be myself again without wearing a mask, without following these laws. Like, to be honest, you guys, I caught the bug in Kigali, and I was quarantined for 24 hours. I had my mask on the whole time, and I still caught it. So that's why I say, to me, I feel like the whole thing is pointless. But that's my opinion. Please don't shoot me because your opinion is different. So, yeah, to me, I feel like the only thing that'll help anyone is a healthy immune system. And that is a common denominator that remains the truth. So, the fact that Tanzania gives you that choice is just amazing. And it's funny when you go on the website, I don't want to say what website it is because they might flag me, but when you go on the website looking for, you know, what's going on in each country is pertaining to this bug, they will tell you it's dangerous here, stay away, it's the bug is all around the country. It's a lie. Everybody's free, you know, and it's not spreading here. It's a lie. I have not got sick here once, and I have not worn a mask the entire time. So freedom for me here is a 10 out of 10, and that is our birthright, to be free. So when it pertains to everything on my list, freedom is at the top of my list. So forget about the parties, forget about the nightlife, forget about, you know, having to dress modestly here. Like, as long as I'm free when it pertains to my health. I just wondering, who the heck am I talking to? There's a little girl, that's my daughter's playmate. So, yeah, when it pertains to freedom, I'm free here. So if that's what matters most to you, Tanzania will be your top choice. But if anything changes in the other two countries and it becomes like this, then I'll consider it. But as long as people follow the West and what they consider to be the solution, I'm not with it. And it seems like this country is completely independent of the West. And that also means they don't have as much accommodations for us coming from the West and what we're used to there. But as long as you have freedom here, that I can walk around without a freaking mask, without being in fear, I'm happy. So when you total up everything, let's see what our average is. So Ghana, leisure, 10 out of 10. Infrastructure, 6 out of 10. Affordability, 7 out of 10. Immigration process, 8 out of 10. Freedom, 7 out of 10. When you average this up, it's a 7.8 for me. Kigali. So the first one was Accra, not Ghana, okay? Because I don't want... But, I mean, this applies to all of Ghana, but I'm talking about Accra. Second is Kigali. Leisure is 6 out of 10 from what I've seen. Friendliness, 8 out of 10. Infrastructure, 9 out of 10. Affordability, 5 out of 10. Immigration process, 10 out of 10. Freedom, 5 out of 10. So the average score for Kigali was a 7.1. Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Leisure, 10 out of 10. Friendliness, 8 out of 10. Infrastructure, 6 out of 10. Affordability, 10 out of 10. Immigration process, 7 out of 10. Freedom, 10 out of 10. The average score is 8.5. So, Tanzania for the win. For people who are natural Rastas like me, I'm a Rasta at heart. So, freedom just matters to me. Not gonna let anybody tell me what I'm gonna do with my body. So, if you're like me, this matters to you. If you care more about the other things, then just let that apply to you. My decisions don't have to apply to you, and my personal choices don't have to apply to you. In this time and day, they want us to feel like when you have a different opinion than everyone else that you should be crucified. We can have different opinions and still get along. Unless you feel inferior to my decision, and that's your personal, choice. Doesn't have anything to do with me. But I don't feel like I'm superior to anyone. I just feel like I'm a human being. But yeah, I don't expect anyone to be just like me. But for those who resonate with me and my personal choices, then I hope this video helps you. So if you guys like this video, you want me to share other videos like this, please leave a comment below. And otherwise, please like, share, and subscribe. One love.